actually, here comes the musical guest for today. Hello, we've got two musical guests for today because what we're doing from Live with Lottie through September and October is checking that you have sound first. So I'm just going to go onto our TEDx Facebook page and check that we have sound because it's been a tech-mare morning. Oh, look, I didn't even get to put my jewels on to join you this morning. Oh, my face, camera-ready face, always. But I wanted to jump in here to let you know what's going to be happening with our Meet the Speaker series. Really, really excited to be able to bring you this series with our very first guest today. Now, let me just check. Are we live in here? Have we got sound? Morning. Oh, look, I didn't even get to put my jewels on. We have got sound, and I can shut myself up there with that, or turn my sound off now. I wanted to jump and remind Catherine that I've got a few delays my end. So this is who we're going to be meeting today. Berginald Rash. He is a classical clarinetist. Wonderful woodwind instrument. I used to be a flautist many a year ago. So we are doing this Meet the Speaker series for our TEDx Dunleary 20, which will be a virtual event on October the 23rd via Facebook right here. And the lovely greatest news before I throw you into the interview today is that we're keeping our fingers crossed that this will be, we are gifting this event to all of our viewers through Facebook this year because we have been limited. The young Changemakers Island are actually filming live just over there. Catherine can tell us a little bit about that in a moment too. But she's been interviewing a few people there. They are filming live on stage on the glorious red dot right now. And we are kicking off our what's a better word than adult speaker? The TEDx Youth Dunleary, Young Changemakers Island. Go on, write a shout out. Do a comment below. What's a better word than adult speaker? Young Changemaker at heart? Bit too long. So come on, throw your comments in here. And Shari, oh, thank you. Shari's another speaker. She will be with us over the next couple of weeks because she's going to share her story as well. But these Meet the Speaker moments are so that Catherine, who spoke at TEDx Dunleary last year, can get more practice at interviewing. B, so that our speakers, like Berginald and like Shari below, will get some practice of being live here on screen. So that's why it all kind of mixes in as their live media mentor, live stream mentor, to help them with their confidence on camera. I'm throwing other people, not just this muggin's face on screen. So let me take the image off there and bring in Catherine. I have got she's on in 3, 2, 1. I haven't got Catherine's sound. Actually, Catherine, you're on the wrong side. Yes, take your head out of the TEDx logo there. You've got the TEDx logo on the other side. And she's actually on the new Brio camera, but a little bit fuzzy, but hey. This is all live and this is what happens to the fun. So thank you, Shari, that you can hear us. And Jenny Cruz is saying, I thought Jenny was speaking with you this year, but I got the wrong Jenny. She's on the wait list, but next year, Jenny, and you and I will do an interview after this. So I am going to, are you ready, Catherine, to do your first Meet the Speaker interview with your guest in screen? And is he all ready? Did he bring his clarinet with him? No. No, he hasn't. Oh, well, look, I'm going to pass over now to Catherine Dunphy, who is our TEDx #TEDxDL20 Meet the Speaker interviewee. So over to Catherine.
Hi, everybody. It's wonderful to be here in Dunleary at this hugely exciting TEDx Dunleary 2020 event. And I mean, hashtag TEDxDL 2020. So get hashtagging now because we want to make this the best virtual event of the year. Because as we said, myself and Lottie in an interview a couple of weeks ago, we are the only TEDx event that's actually going to go ahead this year. And an awful lot of work has to go in from changing it to being an actual audience with the TEDx speakers in studio to it being a virtual event. But it's hugely exciting. And I'm just looking here, like I'm looking at the camera here now, but actually over the head of the camera, I can see the lexicon, the wonderful lexicon, where it's all happening right now with the young change makers, as Lottie just said. And I was just in there a minute ago, and the excitement is very, very real. So by the end of this afternoon, all the young change makers will have been standing on the red dot, and they will hopefully have received their TEDx award. Beautiful, beautiful little kind of just reminder and like symbolism of getting up on that red dot. And then the most exciting thing is that today in studio with me here is one of my dear friends, but also one of the most amazing speakers, amazing people I know, and one of our speakers from TEDx Dunleary 2020, and that is Berginald Rash, or as all of us who know him a little bit better as a friend, Bergie. So here is, without any further ado, here is Berginald, and here I go. Here he is, put him on screen, we're all here. So welcome, Berginald, to the Lottie studio for TEDx Dunleary 2020.
Hello.
So anyway, this has been an exciting journey, but also a very quick journey, wouldn't that be right?
Yes, to say the least. I mean, didn't we just like figure this out like 2 days ago? It feels like it was just being announced, and now we're like rolling. It's moved very quickly.
Yeah, because the thing about most people don't know is that the TEDx goes from your application to your acceptance, and then suddenly you're slap bang into tutorials and, you know, coaching and everything. And then the next minute it's like 2 weeks to the red dot. It's like, whoa! So how did you find the journey from the acceptance through the coaching to almost now being on the red dot?
Oh gosh, I'm going to be honest, it was a bit tumultuous. We've kind of just been running full steam ahead, getting accepted, and like finding out, going through that process of just kind of taking in the information, processing, and then going to the workshops to organize our thoughts, to figure out what we're going to speak, how we're going to do so compellingly and with conviction. And then now being in a place where we're going live and promoting it, it's been a lot.
Yeah, because like you would be somebody who would be well used to kind of speaking and well used to presenting and playing. I mean, obviously as a professional musician and a very experienced one, I mean, you're in front of audiences all the time. But, you know, I personally haven't spoken on the red dot and haven't been on stage since I was 4. I personally found the TEDx thing a completely different experience, but I think everybody's experience is different. And I'd love to know what your experience of this process in comparison to playing in an orchestra, you know, your first solo performance, you know, what would you say to people out there in relation to a TED Talk versus something different?
Right. I'd say the preparation is similar in that you're taking your time to kind of organize your thoughts, but I'm assuming, I haven't done it yet, but the delivery is different. There's something more, I don't know, because you're communicating not through, you know, music, it's actually language and words, and you're having to really kind of choose them in a way that convey a message thoughtfully and very literally. I think it's very different than when I'm on stage performing, particularly as a soloist. I get on the stage, I prepared, the orchestra is assumed has prepared, and we walk off and it's done. But this sort of situation is like, there's still a lot happening before and after that kind of leads up to that. And with rehearsals and orchestras, you might get 2 rehearsals before you're controlling you're done. And this is a bit different. So I find it similar, but also a little bit jarring.
And like, just from the point of view that the people who are there, they want to find out more about you and what you do. Maybe just tell people about your music and, you know, your journey from music, first of all, as well as your TEDx journey, which, you know, yeah.
Woo, my journey to music. Oh gosh. Well, I guess I always was involved with music in that I was a singer. I started off singing, and then I started playing the saxophone. And I was over the saxophone. I want to go to the clarinet. And so I switched to clarinet. And from there, it kind of led me to college and, you know, traveling because of, you know, music, and to now being in Ireland and doing this talk. So it's been an interesting journey. I kind of stumbled along the way. Nothing was ever really planned. I knew I wanted to play the clarinet, but I never planned on like coming to Ireland. It was never something I said, I'm going to do this. It just kind of happen, and you follow the path of least resistance and see where it leads. And I've been fortunate thus far that it's led to this opportunity, and I'm very grateful to everyone at TEDx for allowing me this opportunity. So thank you guys so much.
And like, you can't, obviously we don't want to let in on what you're actually going to talk on, because you're not supposed to know beforehand. That's the whole point of you guys tuning in on the 23rd of October and being part of this exciting virtual event. But in relation to this whole journey from the singing to saxophone to clarinet, and you know, and all the successes that you've had with that to this point, and should we expect that some of this, you know, journey will be included in your talk?
Well, without giving away too much, I will say there is an element of the journey involved. I feel like in order to tell a very worthwhile story, you're going to have to make yourself a bit vulnerable and realize a few things in front of an audience, in this case, virtually. So there are elements of my journey involved, but my story, like all of our stories, is varied and it's expansive. So I can't get into all the details of my life, but there are elements of it and things that I think or hope that people will find at least interesting and even more so touching and thoughtful. So there you go.
Brilliant. And like, there's people who are listening right now who would love to be in your position doing a TEDx talk. And many people have said to me since I've done one, how do I get to do one of these TED talks? I really want to do them. And, you know, have you any kind of, I suppose, advice to give somebody if they wanted to prepare? Because like I said, the application process is so quick from application to acceptance, but also the application process tends to be, I know for TEDx Dunleary, it's like a 1 week window.
Yeah.
So you have to be on the ball of, you know, the applications, stay in touch with the TEDx Dunleary page, get the updates, and but also be thinking about it before that week. So like, what would your top tips be for somebody? I know, but Lottie asked me 2 weeks ago. I'd be dying to go into
well, I can say, because you know firsthand, having been on the red dot, having gone through the experience, me being there and filming your entry or whatever, like, it was very real for you.
Yeah.
And I was so supportive, I hope.
And you came to see me, which was
and I was there.
Yay!
No, you know, like, this, first of all, this opportunity is not one that I chased after. I didn't pursue it ardently. It was something that kind of came to me because of someone you guys know who thought that I should be able to do that. I should do this. Thought really long and hard about someone who she thought would be good at this. Catherine.
You didn't have to say you would apply. You didn't have to say.
Yes, I mean, I did apply, but from the moment the suggestion that you made to do so came in, it was like, deer in headlights. What do I do? I lost a couple of hours of sleep trying to throw together my thoughts, and so the only thing I can say is, beyond having someone in your corner who supports you and believes in you, it's very important that you kind of just go at it from a place of integrity and a willingness to kind of learn, because the whole process is I found it very kind of illuminating. And there were, like, our last workshop we had together was really emotional. So when you go into this, it's important to be open to the process and prepare yourself in a way that is willing to learn and to be vulnerable at times, because there are elements of vulnerability beyond just standing in front of a bunch of people you don't know. But the story, the aspect of the talk, is something that's so, I feel it's very sacred. And so in preparing the application, really do so from a place of humility, I think, and a place of just wanting to share something that's profound and beautiful to you, more so from a place of ego. I find that if you're approaching it from a place of ego, it undermines the value of the experience and it undermines your application, I would say. So I think that what's been my strength in this moment is just not thinking I could do it, not even wanting to do it, having someone else thinking I should do it.
And then I let them do it. And this is the really important thing, because the TED Talk, in my opinion, has to come from in here.
Yeah, I would
agree. So
agree.
so like what I said, Bridge, I think it'd be really great. And I'm in contact with the page, of course, with the wonderful Lottie and Jamie Laser and all the guys who I met last year. I'm so privileged to have them in my life. And so when I heard this, I thought, well, why don't you apply? But the thing about it is that after that, I haven't gone near that. This is Bertie's story. I don't even know what he's actually speaking about. So this is great interview because it has to come from here. You can't. What would you think of that?
I would agree, but I mean, you know yourself, you went through the experience, and at that time in your life, there was a lot going on, Catherine. There was a lot going on where you couldn't stop and get into your head about it. You couldn't stop and get into your ego about it. It just had to be very natural and organic. And I think that's what made, for me, your talk so resonate so profoundly. And I think that's what was the visceral honesty of it. It was just there, you know? And so I think in doing this, if you can connect with that sincerity and honesty the way you did, because you couldn't do anything else in that moment.
Because people would know you and they would say, oh, so we're going to listen to Bergie's talk, and he's going to be talking about the clarinet and the orchestra, and actually one of we might as well bring it in because you just appeared in this clarinet magazine with Miriam.
Yes,
and
I did.
Amazing. Check out his page. It's really cool.
I'm a cover girl, you guys. I'm on the cover of the International Clarinet Association's the Clarinet publication. Yeah, for an article that I wrote in conjunction with my dear friend Miriam Adams, who's a clarinetist as well. And thanks for bringing that up. I totally forgot. I forgot, and I keep looking at myself.
My job. So are you excited? So here's the thing. Are you excited about the thing? And also maybe because you've done the workshops, and they are preparing you for the fact that this is going to go out live virtually. Like, it is live, but actually it's going to be pre-recorded. It's kind of different. Yeah. So maybe, because there's people who are listening now who are previous TEDx speakers, and they went through the whole thing of standing on a stage. The Dublin one is on the Gaiety, the Talented is on the, the Civic, the Dun Laoghaire one's always in the beautiful Lexicon, which is fantastic. But most people experience it as standing in front of an audience on the red dot. You could maybe just talk about the whole difference in preparation for virtual.
Well, I don't know how different our preparation has been, in that I wasn't there last year when you guys were on the dot. I know that what we've talked about is that the possibility being all of us, being able to share the space, of course, with, COVID restrictions in place, or no one being in there but the people filming. There's a lot of possibility, a lot of potential setup. So I think in that aspect, it's caused us to have to prepare in a way that's very flexible, understanding that if we are speaking and there's no audience, you still have to speak beyond the people in the room and kind of connect to the people in the camera, which I'm really trying hard to do, but I'm so used to talking to you. This is very awkward. It's that kind of mental preparation in preparing that there might not be people there to actually hear you. So you have to kind of take yourself out of that space, and I think that really makes it that much more necessary that your speech or your talk comes from the heart, that it's from a sincere and honest place. Because if you're speaking with sincerity, if you're speaking from a place of honesty, as you well know, then you can do this whether there's 10 people there, 10,000 people, or in this possible case, no people there. So I think that's where it's really important to tie it all back together. So yeah, I mean, we'll see. I am excited. I'm a little nervous. But I am excited. It's going to be a lot of fun. I've had a lot of fun talking and meeting the other speakers. We have some really great talks coming out. I mean, I was blown away at our last meeting this past Sunday with just the topics and the range and how far the talks have come in just such a short amount of time. That's
very interesting, actually.
Yeah.
How far? Because I found that really interesting last year as well. The first day, and everybody's grappling. They're kind of wondering, what am I going to talk about?
What am I going to talk
about? The later workshops and watching someone grow.
Yeah, there is a lot of potential for personal growth here, and I'm just so privileged to be with the people I'm with, because they're so generous and so kind and have been so supportive with one another, and that has allowed for us to kind of experience this place of vulnerability that you have to be in when presenting this talk on this red dot. And I know that there's a lot of, social cachet that comes along with that. But I feel like for the people I'm working with, that's not what's the focus. No. I think it's really about the opportunity to just tell their truth, speak fully and wholly in their truth. And so I'm really excited about that and the opportunity for you guys to hear that. So
no, it'd be brilliant. Yeah. I have no doubt, because I've seen like all the speakers so far, and all the topics that people are talking about are really, really interesting. But you're right, it's like we had a lovely team sort of dynamic last year. The support, and that's something that's different from a regular performance where everybody's just concerned about their own performance. Everybody wants everybody to deliver that message that might change just one person's life. Just one person.
I'm kind of convinced that somebody's life will be changed by the talks that are happening. I mean, I can't get into it. I wish I could tell you guys. But there are some really like dynamic and powerful sort of people in the world. Like, and it's funny because these people walk down the street all the time and you don't even know like just how amazing they are. And I think if anything, it's a testament to just the multiplicities of humanity and the many layers that we as individuals can have in ourselves and maintain all at once while, you know, meandering down the street. So it's really beautiful.
Well, now what I'm just going to stop for a second because I could just see lots of different people are commenting. Loads of people are looking saying, can't wait to hear Bergie speak and lots of different things. But Lottie is in the other studio because we're all being like distanced apart. And no, and that's what everything in the studio, like it's, you know, that's the whole concern of the TEDx is that all regulations are complied with, that everybody feels comfortable. There may be nobody there, or there may be, you know, a very, very small audience of 6, you know, something like that. But, you know, TEDx and Leary be very conscious about all of these kind of safety things, as well as bringing their speakers. So there's been a lot of work put in, and we're really hoping to see on the 23rd. But maybe, Lottie, maybe you might come in at this stage with some of the comments that people have brought at this point throughout. I hope she can hear me now. Lottie. We can't hear you.
Nor can we see you.
We can hear you through the wall.
Hey.
To jump in. Hear each other through the wall, she said. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Yeah.
Uh-oh, gotta get back in here.
Can you hear me, Clem Fandango? Can you hear me, Clem Fandango? I love that show. We have had such amazing comments. I love Tiffany here saying, living your truth is so important. You are very, very right. And Jenny Cruz saying, cannot wait to hear Bergie speak. It's brilliant. Amanda Delaney. Amanda, I think I've got your commitment that you're going to be our Meet the Speaker guest next week with Catherine.
And Amanda has a really powerful story.
Do it virtually. So, because what I want to do is, like, I'm making comments along the way, like little things like, if you're in a new studio, wobbling the desk, you need to be aware where the camera is. So this is all learning, as I said at the beginning, for our interviewees, so that when we come around to the virtual summit, we'll have as much fun as we can with all of your comments and shout outs like this below. But we can also help everybody learn along the way to be a bit more confident in camera. Catherine has been video bombed by me many a time. You know that a bit, don't you? And Amanda knows that too. So Amanda, I want your commitment. You're going to be on next week. James Finnegan is, thank you James for comments here. So looking forward to hearing Bergie, not Bertie. And Bergie is a classical clarinetist, not a jazz clarinetist like I was told.
Not a jazz clarinetist.
Classical. Wonderful. Thank you, James. Looking forward to hearing his speech and performance. A lovely interview. And Janie Lazar, it's Janie Lazar, by the way, Catherine, not Laser. I know. Oh, I forgot to say that to you last month. And Janie's keeping them so reassured and relaxed.
Yeah.
And here you go. Amanda's in next week. So Catherine will do that virtually from your studio, Amanda's studio, and mine. So we'll be able to do that. So thank you to everybody. Because, as I said, this is all great learning for our speakers, for our hashtag TEDxDL20. So thank you, Bergie, for being our guinea pig and coming to studio.
Can I just give a little shout out? I just want to say hi to my mama, wherever she is. Hey, mama, how you doing? And my friend Tiffany, thanks for watching.
And also, Bergie, I've got to put up all of your how people can find you on Twitter. They can find you on Facebook.
It's a lot of social media, Lottie.
Because you do teaching a clarinet, and you actually compose for other people as well.
No. I don't compose. That doesn't happen on my watch. I am not a composer.
But this is where you can find him. Actually, here you go. This is the one you will need, folks. Go and subscribe to Bergie's BL Rash on YouTube, and the place where you'll mostly find him, Gramming, Instagramming. That's where he usually is. And in doubt, berginaldrash.com is where you can find everything. I love this, Bergie. I want to find out from you. You need to tell us, how do you do this link tree? This is where all of your social media is.
Catherine can tell you.
No, you tell him.
That's Catherine.
The link tree.
Bergie, by the TEDx sign. And
I just want to say that we are not endorsed by Linktree. We do not get any money from Linktree. So what I'm going to tell you is not because I'm funded by them. But what's happening now because of social media, and particularly with Instagram, where you have links, but you can't click on the link in the description of the picture. What people have done is Linktree has created an opportunity where you can list all your links on a single website, and then take that link of your links and put it into your social media links section, where you click on that one link and it just gives you a whole list of all of your links, and there's different subscription levels to it. But the Linktree has been very helpful. Catherine, I got turned on to the Linktree.
Yeah, brilliant. It's brilliant.
Yeah, and just all your links are right there.
Yeah. Instead of having like 10 different social media groups everyone has got a pain in their head with, you have this like one click link, and then like I might want to see like Bergie's Twitter, but I might want to see his Instagram, but I might not have that link. But if the link tree is just one small line, and it's all there, like my TED talk is on it, and Bergie set it up for me, which was really good because I'm not technically savvy.
She's not. The best thing about the Linktree, I think, is like if you remember one person's social media handle and you go there, then you can click on their Linktree if they put it on their social media, and it will show all their other stuff that's relevant to them that they've chosen to show highlights. So I think that's very, very important, particularly now with the advent of social media. I say now as if it hasn't been happening for decades, but social media. So there you go. Also, hi Sherry, I hear you're listening. I love her talk, Sherry. Oh my gosh, you guys, her talk.
Look, Amanda she is
Amanda's talk. She has a very powerful story, you guys. So I'm really looking forward to you guys meeting them and connecting with their stories, because I think there's something in them for everybody. I haven't heard everybody's stories thoroughly thus far, but those two I've definitely heard. And Dee Keogh, I was there this past weekend, and her story, she could tell a story.
And you see, this is an example of how all the speakers in Dunleary, this happened with me last year and the other year. You can see it with the young speakers down there now who've come back to mentor this year's change makers, because there's a camaraderie that you can't describe it unless you're there. I mean, the encouragement and come on, you can do it when you don't feel like doing it. Yeah, look, there's just a perfect example. And
the feedback, I mean, the things that people pick up on that you don't pick up on in your talk has been really interesting. The things that resonate. And Janie made a comment. She was like, you won't remember everything about everyone's talk, but you'll remember like one or two things. And what that is for each person, as you know, varies. It's different. And that's what's so beautiful. Like what I found that was very meaningful to me about Sherry's talk might be completely different when Catherine hears it, or Amanda's, or Dee's, or all the other people who are doing the TEDx this time around. And that's what I think is really beautiful about it. Like we can all get something from it, and it can be completely different than what your neighbor got.
Yay! And so hopefully that's what's happening over there, because like I'm looking at it, it's an amazing building, by the way, everybody. I mean, I know you all can't come to it this year, but the Lexicon is just beautiful. I'm looking at it out the window here, and best of luck to all those change makers. I hope it's all going really well over there. I'm looking forward to the 23rd when we hear everything that everybody has to say.
Yeah.
October the 23rd, folks. That's when TEDx Dunleary. We are live. as Catherine was just saying, the young speakers are being videoed right now with our professional video team from Staunton Media, Cormac from Staunton Media. They're an amazing team who did all our videos from last year. And because Jamie is so keen on making it accessible, they're making sure that we have captions for every talk so that our deaf be. So thank you to our deaf audience for being included. Okay, Bergie, thank you very much for that. Last few comments. Just covering your chin up. So we all have to sit up like this and uncover our chin. This is where you can find us, TEDx Dunleary Facebook group. You can subscribe on Bitly, YouTube, TEDx Dunleary. And James is saying, well done, Bergie. And I love James. Not a composer yet.
Not a composer. No. That is not my ministry. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Composing is not where the Lord has led me. I can't do it. I can conceptualize like a mofo, but I cannot compose.
That's a whole nother TEDx talk. I get the so
I mean, I think we each have like 10 TEDx talks.
Yeah, 10 TEDx. Well, this is the beginning of your whole TEDx talk journey, Bergie, and with the coaching and the training and the likes of our mentors from previous years, like Catherine. This is what we're aiming to do, but we do need your help. As I said at the beginning, TEDx Dunleary it's a gift this year. We are donating this without fee. Tickets will be found via our TEDx Dunleary Facebook page, and it will be watched through there because the replays of the actual videos after the 23rd, TEDx themselves put live on YouTube. We're not allowed to, but we can give you access behind a paywall, but we can say that it's fee or free. We're opting for free and hoping that you might donate so that we can buy all of these tools to help grow both young change makers, young and old, young and young at heart change makers like these two beautiful people in here, and Catherine, Amanda, who you'll meet with Catherine next week. And I love Amanda saying, here you go, finish off with that. You know your own lane, Bergie Raz. So there you go. So thank you all for joining us. We're a little bit over, but hey, it's a bit of fun. I've got to send these guys off now to go and interview the young change makers to get some sound bites for the live event and feedback from their parents and family who are COVID safely watching them being filmed right now. So that's it from Live with Lottie, TEDx Dunleary TV. And we'll see you same time, same place next week, folks. Thanks for joining us. Now we need some humming from you in the background as we go out, Catherine. Come on, you're our magic of music. I haven't stopped the stream yet. Do us a theme tune.
Thank you, TEDx Dunleary.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that. We can harmonize that, Catherine. Let's harmonize that.
Let's go.
Okay, that's